Breaking news, Solana throws in the towel to XRP. Sort of. So breaking news, XRP is coming to Solana. So Solana was dropping us some cryptic riddles on X, on social media, and people were all over it. And now, they simply said, hey, we're bringing XRP, that beloved token, to our platform. And they've got this fire emoji, which is, I think, very apt. And there's a mixed response, obviously. Solana fans, some of them are not very happy about it because a lot of them are XRP haters. But a lot of interesting responses, including mine, which I'm going to show you in a minute. But let's first take a quick look at the market. By the way, before I start, I want to shout out to all of the people who left Reuters in my video that I made yesterday. Or it's been 2 days now, actually. I didn't make a video yesterday. So shout out to you guys. You guys watched over half an hour of me rambling on, which is absolutely rare in 2025 that anybody can sit down and watch half an hour of anything, right? Some of you didn't make it to the end, but you still saw 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Absolutely rare. Attention spans are in the gutter at the moment, and you guys are a special bunch. So thank you very much. I'm much appreciative of that. So markets looking the same as yesterday, I would say. Slight drop in the fear and greed index from 30 to 29, which I think is negligible. So basically people are still feeling the same, but I think that we're going to go to neutral, probably greed, in the soonest of times. Bitcoin price did a little bit of a recovery yesterday, but has sort of stayed flat since then. The response to the COTS announcement, that pump was sort of burnt away. Let's just click on that and have a look at the chart. That response cooled off, but then, that's it cooling off there. But then, recovered again. So we're now sort of bumping sideways, waiting for the next catalyst, which I think is just going to be FOMO buying when the dust settles a little bit more. There are some macro events that are a bit troubling around the world. The Japan reverse carry trade is sort of thing. By the way, there's someone left me an interesting message yesterday, or in one of my old videos when I mentioned the Japan carry trade, and they questioned why I didn't credit Jake Claver about the reverse carry trade, the concept of it. I don't know if it's you listening. Jake Claver didn't come up with the concept of the reverse carry trade. It's like saying somebody came up with the concept of leverage trading or the concept of derivatives. It just is a thing in the trading, in the financial markets, right? I don't know who coined that particular term, but I don't think it's Jake Claver. If he coined the inverse or reverse carry trade as a phrase, then shout out to him. That's but he didn't invent it. It's just some dude on the internet and a CEO of some financial company or whatever. So don't be a cult member. Just chill. Anyway, back to the video. We're waiting for the next catalyst, but there are lots of macro events that can still affect what happens. There's a lot of conflicts that have broken out around the world yet again, include some of the conflicts that Donald Trump helped put an end to. There's Cambodia and Thailand, which is kicking off right now, and they've actually asked Trump to intervene. There's stuff brewing China and is it Taiwan? There's stuff brewing. There's lots of stuff always brewing in the Middle East. There's stuff brewing in Nigeria and Benin Republic. There's stuff brewing in the Sahel region of Africa. There's a lot of stuff brewing all over the place. And there's also the BRICS new sort of not trading currency per se, but new way to do payments. There's a Nigeria-led Africa payment system that's been implemented that's going to challenge the status quo of dollar, because Nigeria, obviously we know, is a petrol or an oil producing country with very, very high quality grade, and also supplies gas to Europe. And having stepped up the supply since the Ukraine versus Russia war started, there's issues again in Europe with Ukraine and Russia. Someone in Germany, I can't remember his name now, an important politician, warned that, here in Europe, we should prepare for the type of war, or the wars, plural, that their grandparents fought. So that's terrible, a horrible thing to say and a terrible prospect. So things not looking very good macro-wise in terms of just conflicts around the world. I just hope for world peace. I'm kind of sick and tired of all the, people unaliving themselves around the world. Anyway, that's TikTok talk, by the way, unalive. We're not allowed to say the K word anymore. It gets flagged and blah, blah, blah. Who knows? Anyhow, let's move on to XRP. XRP doing the same thing that Bitcoin did. Recovery, maybe not as robust as Bitcoin. Again, because it didn't dump as much as Bitcoin. So there's no need for the big recovery. But doing pretty much the same thing. Down and then up and then just bounces sideways. And the funny thing is, when things are bouncing sideways and there's no action, this is when actually people feel the most sort of lethargic about crypto, and the fear, uncertainty, and doubt kicks in. So just the flat movement just really exhausts people, I find. So fingers crossed, we will see some action to the upside very, very soon. And there are many catalysts that are going to cause that to happen. One of them, of course, is what Solana already knows, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. 21 shares. So this 21 shares XRP ETF, the one that we know and love already, has begun trading on CBOE with a $226 million seed. So that's a 100 million XRP seed. So the ETF started trading on CBOE on the ticker TOXR, becoming the fifth spot XRP product to receive exchange approval. Ripple Markets seeded the fund with 100 million XRP valued at 226 million in dollars, enabling initial creation and redemption operation. Okay, so if you look at the CBOE platform, that's the ticker there, TOXR, and it's by 21 shares, and that started Thursday, December 11, which is yesterday from my point of view, I believe. So more liquidity coming into the XRP ledger and XRP ecosystem from that. Again, we know that ETFs don't sell even when the price drops. We know that people that hold ETFs, when they sell, that doesn't necessarily mean that XRP is selling on the market. It just means that the ETF shares are changing hands within that sort of ETF cocoon, right? In that little sort of envelope. The actual ETF, XRP back in the ETFs, are held in some vault by the organizations themselves. And we've also seen from some of the activities of JP Morgan that some of these ETFs are also traded against. So they're becoming layered derivatives of each other. So JP Morgan and other companies would have a product that would be sitting on top of an ETF, blah, blah, blah. So they're starting to coil into each other and leverage each other and produce derivatives of each other. So that's an exciting time ahead. And talking about derivatives, there's a video I'm going to play at the end that tells you how much the institutional traders are looking forward to trade XRP related derivatives. And it's already begun with some of the offerings from JP Morgan and the likes. So the future of that is absolutely insane. In fact, I'm starting to think that the derivatives market might even outperform my favorite source of income onto the XRP ledger, which is currently real world assets tokenization from Asia. So there's a colossal amount of money coming from that side. But, I'm starting to look at some of the amount of money that sloshes around in the derivatives market, the big leagues, as they call them. And, we're talking about tens of trillions of dollars. But I'll talk about that in a minute. CFTC move sparks Ripple's leap towards stock-style trading. And basically, this is saying there's been a paradigm shift. And this is really a paradigm shift. Now, I'm not going to belabor this because I've already done the whole sort of breaking news, blah, 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 blah. But to think about it again, this is a kind of paradigm shift. It's taken XRP, I don't know why they say Ripple, it's taken XRP from being a crypto token, like any other crypto token, Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever, that people speculate on crypto markets, to collateral status and to derivative status. So XRP is growing up and transforming into this institutional grade instrument that are going to be traded and treated and perceived. I think it's the perception that probably is the most important, because on the ground on the XRP ledger, not much has changed with the token itself. It still functions and operates like a crypto token like before. The only difference now is its status and where people can reach XRP from. So if I just read this quickly, market analyst Diana, who I talked about in my previous video, spotlights a major milestone for Ripple as the US moves to integrate digital assets into regulated derivative markets. Okay. Acting Commodities Futures Trading Commission, that's the CFTC, the chairperson Carolyn D. Pham singled out Ripple, signaling a potential paradigm shift that could bring cryptocurrencies into the same structured trading arenas long dominated by banks, hedge funds, and Fortune 500 treasuries. So these are the biggest of the trading leagues, right? This is the highest echelon of financial trading and markets, right? By the way, it's not Ripple. I don't know why they keep saying Ripple in these articles. It's XRP. So it's not Ripple, the company. It's not RLUSD, the stable coin. It's XRP, the actual token that you hold in your wallet. So what does this mean? Derivative markets are finance's big leagues, which is what I said earlier on, where trillions inflow annually through futures, options, and swaps. Okay. So this is kind of stuff you're going to find, Warren Buffett's of the world, the Donald Trumps of the world, Elon Musk's and stuff. Financial hedge funds. You're going to find JP Morgan. You're going to find Fidelity, whatever, BNP, whatever their names, Bunny Mellon, whatever. This is kind of league that they play in, right? And now we're going to have XRP as one of the instruments. And don't you forget, XRP has also an advantage of prime brokerage, Ripple Prime, who's going to be the one shilling the stuff like crazy to all of these guys. So the name XRP is going to become a household name for the biggest league of traders in the financial markets. See why I'm starting to think that some of this stuff might start to rival the RWA real estate tokenization from Asia, because the amount of money we're talking about here now rivals that. I mean, I still think there's more money in real estate that's locked up in China and Hong Kong and all that sort of stuff. But derivatives trading, especially in the United States, represents an absolutely insane amount of liquidity. Absolutely nuts. Okay. So that's something to look forward to. Okay. So now let's talk about the Solana story. Solana officially confirms XRP is coming to Solana. Okay. I showed you the tweet in the beginning by Solana themselves, so they've officially confirmed it on social media. XRP is officially coming to the Solana ecosystem in one of the most significant cross-chain developments of the year. During the ongoing Solana Breakpoint Global Conference, the Solana team announced that the Hex Trust and Layer 0 will bridge and issue wrapped XRP on Solana. This move will unlock deep liquidity and new DeFi utility for XRP. The Solana team described XRP as a currency that has stood the test of time, praising its long-standing utility and liquidity. So finally, the Solana army, the trolls, or whatever the hell they call themselves, have thrown in the towel to you guys, the XRP army. So you guys have won. They added the move represents a powerful combination of XRP's proven reliability and Solana's lack of security now. And Solana's high performance and infrastructure. High performance infrastructure, I bet to differ. Okay, and that's they've embedded the tweet there, right? From XRP meme to DeFi integration. So interestingly, its major update comes just after Solana engaged the XRP community with its signature memes and riddles. Yeah, which is what I was talking about earlier on. It began on Monday with a post featuring the community's favorite number 586, blah 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 blah, and the token is going to be called WXRP. It kind of reminds me of something similar to what Coinbase has been doing. And by the way, every exchange, every blockchain is going to eventually do this, right? The next thing we're going to hear is that, Avalanche is doing the same, all the blockchains are going to do it, because XRP is going to be the one to bridge all of their tokens, to bridge all of their stable coins that they have, anything that they're going to do. XRP is going to be sort of the chain link, but on the payments layer, right? That's someone said that, I can't remember, I want to credit the person, but someone said that like 3 years ago. I don't know if it was Rob Paul or was it David Schwartz? Somebody said that XRP is going to be the chain link of payments. So all of these blockchains that are popping up all over the place, if they're going to function in the next financial or the coming financial world, the plumbing is going to be XRP. And the payments layer for a lot of these blockchains is going to be XRP. They're going to plug it into the XRP or Ripple payments, whatever you want to call it, to take advantage of the ISO 222 compliance, for instance, the liquidity of XRP, the ability to bridge across borders, its efficiency, speed, and its low cost. No need to reinvent the wheel when the XRP ledger already is the plumbing. So looking forward to that. I know people are going to go, why isn't the price going up then, mate? Man, I don't know what else to say. So, like I said before, Coinbase has what is it that they have? Coinbase wrapped XRP, CBXRP. So this is a Coinbase specific token. This just basically follows the price of XRP, right? It doesn't, maybe there's some variations, you know, that it won't be exactly 1-to-1 perfectly all the time. But the price of XRP, for instance, is $2.02 at the moment. And the price of wrapped XRP is also $2.02. I mean, Coinbase has a big stash of XRP, so they can easily make sure that that is nicely pegged to each other. But what the heck is this spike here? That is missing from the XRP. Oh, is it missing? I don't know. That's a different thing. That's are they on the same scale? Let me put that on the same scale. Right, so that spike there is probably a data error of some kind, or some sort of whale liquidation or something event on Coinbase. So again, be careful with these. Why would I hold wrapped XRP on Coinbase when I could just hold XRP in my own wallet? Obviously, the wrapped XRP is meant to be used for DeFi. I think it's available on the self-hosted Coinbase wallet. It's a DeFi token or what have you, and there's a seamlessness to it from the actual Coinbase platform itself to it. So yeah, people might like it for that, but personally, I just hold XRP on my own wallet. And now with the side chains coming and different opportunities to mint, FXRP on Flare, and there's gonna be so much opportunity. And obviously, there's a lot of DeFi coming native also to the XRP ledger itself. So a lot of opportunities with that. So shout out to XRP. The future is bright. Now, another important thing about Solana, and that maybe a lot of people aren't talking about with this DeFi move with XRP. First of all, it's not just Solana. It's going to be available on the Ethereum blockchain. So that WXRP that is flagshipped on Solana would also seamlessly move across Ethereum, right? So all EVM platforms will now suddenly have WXRP on them for DeFi purposes. So not only is that going to unlock all of the liquidity from Solana, it's going to also unlock liquidity from a lot of Ethereum compatible systems. Now, do you guys remember the Saga phone from like a year and a half ago? This Saga phone took Solana to new all-time highs. Now, Solana reached all-time highs in January, which is one of the handful of tokens, altcoins, that have reached new all-time highs this season. The vast majority of the others are still at -90, -80, -75%, which make you think that if the market cycle continues this way, and it continues the old way, that is, and we get in the 4-year cycle, 2 years bear market, 2 years bull market, and we go in that cycle, and we see the halving of Bitcoin as the beginning of the new bull market, or whatever, or the harbinger of the bull market, then the bull market really is about to end. We have like what, a month and a half, 2 months left in this bull market, and then it's bear market season. Something crashes, and then. But if you think about it, we haven't had an alt season. It looks like we've missed the alt season. We had a Bitcoin season. It reached all-time highs, surpassed it. Ethereum kind of flirted with it. XRP kind of reached it, depending on which all-time high you want to pick. But Solana did, and I think Sui and some random tokens, probably Tron, hit all-time highs. But the vast majority of the others are still at minus 90, minus 18, 80 something, which makes people think that maybe some of these coins are just going to go away and never come back, just like, EOS did, because there's so many tokens now, and some of their reasons to exist have been taken over by others, right? So for instance, what's the point of Polygon now? What's the point of, I don't know, EOS, like I already mentioned? None. The existence, the proposition for existence has been surpassed. Technology has moved forward. The problem that they proposed to solve last bull market has been resolved and solved by somebody else. XRP has taken a lot of the wind away from some of these other tokens, right? Even Solana has taken a lot of wind away from some of these other tokens. Technology itself, just other things happening. Governmental approval, for instance, has taken, some of the reasons that you wanted some of these other tokens away. So a lot changed in the last few years, but XRP is shown to be resilient. XRP is shown to be the coin of the future, and it's taking its place. And Solana can see it. If Solana is good at anything, it's spotting the next big thing that's going to bring liquidity not only to itself, but also to that product. Okay, so this Solana phone, Saga phone, with the memes that it came with, or the tokens that it came with, people wanted to buy the phone. People wanted to buy that meme so that they can benefit from the 100x, 1000x, 10,000x's that some of them were doing. So in order to buy that stuff, they had to buy Solana. Now, this wrapped XRP, you sort of, from my what I can see so far anyway, you need to buy Solana in order to buy that wrapped XRP. In which case, they're hoping that when XRP does this insane pump, people are going to want to do DeFi on the Solana platform. And to do that, they'd have to buy Solana in order to buy this wrapped XRP on the Solana platform. So they want some of that liquidity. They want in on the action. So the Solana team, they have spotted the, the potential, and they see the writing on the wall of what's about to happen with XRP. And they're getting in on the action, right? Look, at the end of the day, these guys want to make money too, right? There's one thing sitting on social media, doing the banter between, Solana is a big XRP rival, right? Some of them are actually genuinely XRP haters. They think XRP is a vaporware, is going to zero, blah, blah, blah. Or they think is sold out to the authorities, blah, blah, blah. I mean, like Solana is super centralized. Okay, so, they can't say anything about centralization. Solana is one of the most centralized tokens in the world. Super centralized, okay? But they are about the money, and they see the opportunity and they're taking it, okay? So if not financial advice, if Solana can see this, obviously XRP army, this should strengthen your resolve and not give up your XRP to the FUD, because they're trying to FUD you out, right? Now, look at they, talk a lot about it. Some of the, like I said, Solana followers are not big fans of XRP. So this person says, they say, oh, breaking news, XRP is coming to Solana. They said, to do what? And I said, to siphon all the Solana liquidity. No response. Yeah, but XRP has memes. Lots. I mean, social media is just funny these days, man. That's you guys. All right, now I want to play a video from April, okay, that kind of showcases how the institutions are licking their lips, rubbing their hands, salivating to trade anything XRP related, but within the traditional paradigm. And I think this video illustrates it perfectly.
Leverage 2 times long XRP ETF. You launched it at...
By the way, this is April of 2025. So this was before the spot XRP ETFs were approved in the United States. We had these leveraged XRP ETFs that were sort of trying to get past Gary Gensler or whatever, that were applied for ages ago. Some of them were approved, some of them weren't. This one was approved by the new SEC, and he actually goes on to tell you why. I'll just let the video play.
Good time because we're seeing this bounce back in the cryptocurrency itself. But who is this for? Who is coming into this ETF in its first 9 or so trading days?
Well, I think the XRP community, they really are a bit of a cult. They are dedicated.
That's you
people,
guys.
and rightfully so. There are a lot of XRP wallets, I think more than 6 million out there. So we know there's pent-up demand to tap into XRP in a more traditional Wall Street wrapper. Now, it's not so traditional that you go with leverage. That's the point. But this specific product is geared towards traders who have a short-term view, to primarily one-day view.
Okay, did you hear that? So this particular product was designed for day traders. So day traders want that volatility so they can trade XRP. Now, a lot of you guys are going to hate that because day traders are the ones that put in, the massive leverage longs that get liquidated all over the place. So they're not trading XRP directly on this system, which is a good thing. They're trading these ETFs. In theory, the ETFs aren't buying and selling rapidly like someone logging into Coinbase and trading like this, right? But the leverage longs and stuff still affect what happens with the price of XRP in terms of inflows. But at least there's that ETF layer protection that when people get liquidated of their ETFs, it is the companies like 21 Shares or Tecrium, whatever, that actually issued the ETFs that wipe you out, not exactly the XRP, not the exchanges trading XRP. So people who have orders on the exchange themselves don't necessarily get washed out when ETF people get washed out. I don't know if I've explained that okay or not.
Of what XRP's price moves might be. This allows them in a traditional brokerage account to achieve leverage without a margin account.
Are you seeing those folks actually adopt it right now?
As an ETF issuer, we don't see directly who buys them, but we believe it's a mix of professionals and retails trading their own account.
What do you think of retail getting in on it?
I think
it risky?
Of course it's risky. Leverage funds are always risky, and people need to be very careful. I think sophisticated retail traders are in this. I hope that the non-sophisticated traders do their homework first before they set
do your own research.
Yeah, absolutely. It feels like volatility is the point, right? You want the action, you want the ups and downs that come with a lot of these coins. I'm curious about what working with the SEC was like, because a year ago,
okay, we're going to get the Gary Gensler comment.
I think it would have been really hard to get this approved. And even though Paul Atkins only recently got confirmed, actually got in the chair, it seems like this SEC is already more permissive, more open-minded to these sorts of products.
Absolutely. The key difference is the old SEC regime was a blocker. They acted literally as a block. The leadership in the SEC worked against the crypto industry, I believe. And now we had this little gap before the new SEC commissioner's was approved, and that's when we got our fund approved, just because we followed the rules. We thought the time was right. It was. We applied as soon as we could, meaning the old regime had left and wouldn't block us, and we simply listed as soon as we could, following the normal rules. The staff is really wonderful at the SEC. They're knowledgeable. They push back when they need to, and they accept our pushback. It's the leadership that matters. The old leadership was a blocker to crypto. The new leadership
100%.
hopefully will not be.
And that's crucial. So the leadership has changed. So all of these companies that had their ETFs refused, the products refused, they've all they've all basically rushed back onto the drawing board. They've all rushed back to this SEC and basically applied. So there's a lot coming. There's a lot in the pipeline that we don't even know about that's been applied for. Lots of derivative type products are waiting approval. With the move towards CFTC now, though, I believe some of those institutional products anyway are under the jurisdiction of the CFTC, not the SEC. And with a new power shift, again, there's been proposals, for instance, to have all of crypto be under the CFTC rather than the SEC. And again, with the new management under the new administration, things are a little bit different. Things are more friendly. Things are more professional. As you can see, he said there's pushback. There's more conversation. The whole SEC would just tell you, go apply, and they don't apply, and then they'll say no. Why did you say no? They wouldn't say. Nobody was responsive. Gary Gensler wouldn't say why the cryptos were securities, what they needed to do. They didn't give them any clear guidelines. It's like the SEC under Gary Gensler was there to just get in the way as much as possible without providing a way out to actually achieve the things that they wanted to achieve. It looks like this new SEC and, most likely the CFTC are more sort of forward thinking, have a can-do attitude, and actually want to help these companies. So there's a lot of this stuff coming, a lot of approvals we're going through more smoothly, as this man enunciated back in April. So shout out to you guys. Another super long video. It's just a more relaxed, less rushed video. But not financial advice, your own research. But don't be belabored or be put down or be downtrodden by the lackluster price of XRP at the present time. We are in the calm before the epic storm, and I am here for it. I will see you in the next video. Peace.